there is this phenomena these days that teachers who teach in schools and colleges and institutes, they also have started giving directions. Yes, so teachers, you see many teachers have taken the role of motivational speakers also these days. And they give general directions about, life and what to do, what not to do. And sometimes, I have also heard some things, but my observation is that when any human being gives any direction, that direction is very specific to their personality and their experience. Yes, so it comes from their personality and their experience. And although, the directions are given with a lot of good wishes, still sometimes they backfire, because the one who is receiving those directions may not have a similar personality or experience. Yes, and I remember, there was this one student, and he was telling me that my teacher in school, when I told him that my parents at home are not making me comfortable and I am not feeling good at home, so he said that parents are God and you must listen to your parents all the time. But he said that I followed that direction. But the thing is, mine was a dysfunctional family. And in that family, the parents and the abuse of the parents, because I did not protect myself from it, neither emotionally nor physically, I got very wounded in that whole process. So sometimes, you think that you're giving a direction which is based on your values, your personality, your experience. But that direction may not sit well for everybody, because according to knowledge, this drama is a very big variety drama, and every soul is very different. Their part is very different from one another, and this is why it becomes very tricky when you try to dictate what somebody should do or what choices they should make as a human being. When you look at your experiences and your personal, your personal opinion about things, and you start sharing it with everybody, then the person who is listening may have a different part. That's a soul with a totally different journey, different part, different circumstances. And then it becomes very difficult when that soul tries to take your advice completely. But Baba says, when it comes to the supreme teacher, Shiv Baba doesn't give us, situation-specific directions or directions about what choices we make from point to point. But Baba gives us spiritual directions. Spiritual directions means directions for the soul. Yes, and Shiv Baba gives directions which are universal. So Shiv Baba gives directions about every aspect of life, about thought, word, act, about mind, body, wealth, about time, energy, about speech, about who to remember. Baba gives us every directions. But Baba says, my directions are Shrimat. And any soul who follows these directions will get benefited through these because they are in alignment with the law of karma. Yes. So Baba says that you have to study, you have to understand the knowledge. And what is the study? The study is understanding the soul, understanding what you're like, what your properties are like, or what your part is like, or what is the 84 birth journey of the soul. Understanding Baba, understanding his form, his qualities, his occupation, realizing his presence right now, understanding the aim and objective of this present time. So you need study because this study, so there are two things. There is the study and there is the direction. Now study is new knowledge. Yes, so you did not know what a soul looks like, what it is made of, or how a part is recorded in the soul. And if you study a study which is new, then you have to study it every day until it becomes part of your thought process and belief system. So Baba says this is a new study, a study about the soul, about Baba, about the true nature of the drama, and about the aim and objective. So this study has to be paid a lot of attention, because you see that sometimes children think that reading the Murli is not important every day. Yes, but the thing is, if you don't read the Murli, who will revise for you the 84 birth journey every day? You will never play it again on your mind. In the course, you are told about the fact that you, the soul, take 84 births, 8 in Satyug, 12 in Treta Yuga, 21 in Dwapar Yuga, and 42 in Kali Yuga. But who will revise that for you? Or who will revise for you that the nature of the soul is peace? Or who will revise for you that that Baba is the Gati Sadgati Data, or Baba is the ocean of knowledge, or Baba is the purifier? And if you don't revise this every day, then you will forget it. So Baba says this study is new, so every day you need revision of it, and you cannot have the same language for revision. So have you seen that when we are in school, for one particular subject, you take 4 books by 4 different authors. They are telling you the same thing, but you read it in 4 different languages, not language per se, but how the writer put it. And then it starts making sense to you, because you're reading the same thing in 4 varieties. And Baba says that Gyan is also like that. So of course there are new points in the Murli every day, but then there are some points which are revised every day also. But then that revision is equally important. It's not like because this point is revised, it's not important, because it is revised physically, because it is important and relevant that it gets revised in your mind and buddhi. If it was not important and relevant that it gets revised in your mind and buddhi, it wouldn't be revised outside. So Baba is the ocean of knowledge. He is the best teacher. So every day he is teaching us. He is introducing us to newer aspects of knowledge. You see that these days, people talk about emotional eating, and they say that you are eating more because you have food addiction. and you're eating more because you are unhappy inside, and you're trying to compensate that unhappiness by eating more. So there is eating which is necessary, and then there is eating which is emotional, which comes from unhappiness. And you see that Baba in the 60s is talking about this. So Baba is telling us in the Murli today that, when you are very happy, you eat very little, you eat enough to sustain your body. And happiness is the best nourishment. And even if, somebody eats a lot, they may not feel the nourishment that food gives, because the nourishment of happiness is not there. In Hindi it is called khushi jaisi khurak nahi. And then Baba says in Satyug, the food will be very subtle. The food will not be, you will not put spices and oil and cook in a kadai, and you will have very subtle food. Baba says that fruits and everything that nature provides will be very, very subtle and very ample for you. And Baba says that during the last phase, when there is vinash, at that time also the availability of food will be very less, and you will have to sustain yourself with the nourishment of happiness. And you see, these are new points that Baba gives every day, or some other points that Baba will give you every day, which is new. But Baba says there are other points which I give you in a new language every day, but it is about paying attention to the fact that your soul, or making you pay attention to some quality of Baba. So you see that Baba is an ocean of virtues, ocean of powers, and Baba does a variety of actions. So Baba purifies, Baba liberates, Baba removes us from sorrow, takes us to happiness. So Baba performs many functions also. So Baba is the boatman, Baba is the dhobi. So Baba has so many. So Baba today also says that I am the gardener and the boatman, and then Baba is the purifier. So Baba, every day in the Murli, Baba will make you pay attention to some aspect of his occupation. So what he does, or some quality, like Baba will sometimes point out that I am the ocean of knowledge. Sometimes Baba will say I am the liberator. Sometimes Baba will say I am the purifier. So when Baba points out these things specifically, then on that day, it is a good idea to focus on that aspect of Baba. So that occupation of Baba, and look at Baba or remember Baba in that form. Or Baba will sometimes point out various aspects of the drama. Sometimes Baba will point out about Satyug that's coming, sometimes about Sangam Yug that is here right now. Sometimes Baba will tell us that this drama is so interesting that 1 second doesn't meet the other. Sometimes Baba will say, look how variety this drama is, that everybody is a different actor. So every day, because Gyan is so huge, you cannot keep every aspect of knowledge in your awareness all the time. So Baba makes it very easy through the Murli for us to focus on some aspect of the knowledge every day. And then Baba also gives us newer points, newer insights, which are interesting, because when you learn something new for the first time, then your mind can be engaged in thinking about it. And then you can think about and churn over it and get a new experience. So the study every day is very important, because Study is like the raw material, and study has to be done like study. It's not like reading the newspaper. So reading the newspaper is also reading, but it's not study. Would anybody say studying the newspaper? Have you seen those children who prepare for civil services? They study the newspaper also. And then that newspaper is studied differently. So Baba says you have to pay attention to the Murli as study, not as reading the newspaper. So, aaj ki taza khabar, you just see what Baba told today, what is new. Not like that, but delve on every point, dwell on every point, and then you have to take the essence out of every point. So Baba says study is very important. And what is the direction for study? You have to study every day, and you have to study punctually. So, punctuality is important, regularity is important, and attention is important. Yes, so study has to be done with a lot of attention, with punctuality, with regularity. It's not like one day you listen to the Murli at 5, another day at 7, another third day at 5 p.m. No, that's not the way you study. So you see that even if you are listening to the Murli online, the Murli is released at 5 a.m. So listen to it at 5 and listen to it intently. Take a notebook and pen and write down the points that click in your mind, and then whole day, you keep revising and contemplating on the points. And then the study has to be done with punctuality. So no child should miss meethe bacche. So Baba's, if you are 1 second late, what do you miss? Meethe bacche. Then how will you become meethe bacche if you miss meethe bacche? So you have to listen to it from Baba every day. You have to be there in time so that you don't miss meethe bacche. And until the end, Om Shanti, the whole Murli has to be listened to with great attention and love in your heart for Baba. So this study is important. And then study comprises of classwork and homework. So attendance of the Murli is important, but homework is also very important. What is the homework? Take the points of the Murli and churn over it while doing everything that you do during the day. When you're cooking, driving, commuting, working, even all the work that you do doesn't require 100% presence of mind. Sometimes, you're doing work that you do every day, and then your mind is just wandering. So then keep your mind and intellect busy in churning points of the Murli while you're doing other work. So this is the method to study. Now, one thing is study. Second thing is pay attention to Baba's directions. And if you don't pay attention to Baba's directions, and Baba gives directions about body, mind, wealth, time, thought, energy, and speech and action. So Baba gives directions about every aspect, and we have to follow Baba's directions about every aspect, because underline this, that Baba's directions are in consonance with the law of karma. So whatever Baba teaches us, whatever directions Baba gives us with regard to body, mind, wealth, time, energy, thought, speech, action, if you imbibe that, then you will create good karma. And that good karma is going to purify you. That good karma is going to liberate you from the karmic bondage that you have carried for 63 births. So this is why it is very, very important to follow Shrimat, or the directions that make you elevated. And I will just revise some directions that Baba gives, because it's not possible to revise every direction. So for the mind, Baba says, keep your mind anchored to me, keep your mind in my remembrance. Yes, this is the primary direction, because it is your mind that is the basis of all your actions. And Baba says, be man mana bhav, keep your mind connected to me. Just like you see, you have a screensaver on your screen. Yes, you use a computer, and when you use it, then there is that going on the screen, which you are the way you're using it. But when you finish your work, then automatically a screensaver comes in. Yes, and that's how you have to have Baba's remembrance. So every time, you have to do necessary thinking, you're doing that. But whenever you're not thinking about stuff that's necessary, you have Baba's remembrance in your mind. And just like, you always have a very comforting screensaver. So you use a screensaver which is beautiful, which is comforting, so that, it calms you and relaxes you in between work. Similarly, you also have this remembrance of Baba in your mind, which relaxes you, fills you with power, recharges you, while you are in between necessary thoughts. So that's Baba's directions for the mind. What is Baba's directions for the body? Baba says, no sense organ of your body should take in anything that is impure. So, Baba says, just see me, listen to me, eat food cooked in my remembrance. Don't eat with your mouth or drink any water or tea or anything that is not cooked in my remembrance. And that's the directions about the mouth, the ears, the eyes. So don't listen to anything that is not based on Gyan. Nothing you should listen to which is not based on Gyan. So, even if you are doing a job and your job entails research about some subject matter, then you have to research on it, you have to think about it, you have to read about it, listen about it. But Baba says, understand that you do it in a detached manner. So, even when you do it, don't let your intellect get absorbed in it, because everything of the old world will drain you. Just do it in a detached manner, and then when that research is over, when that work is over, again keep playing on your mind my Shrimat, my Murli for the day. So Baba says, don't listen to anything of the old world, and even if you have to listen to something because that's part of your job or something, so you have to do it in a detached manner and then take breaks from it and again fill your mind with Baba's knowledge. So this is very important, because that shouldn't leave an impression on you. So have you seen, so Baba says, there is the power to pack up. So what do? So when you, there's this one sister, and she does research work. So she shared a very good experience. She told me that I research on my subject, and then when you have to research, you read a lot of stuff which is actually giving you just 1 or 2 lines of insight. So I read that whole stuff, I go through the whole process, and then I jot down those 1 or 2 lines, and then I forget the rest. And then I play on my mind what Baba said today. And then I keep that noted and then use it for work. So she said that there is so much of waste that we accumulate, because you see, even if let's say in interactions, you have to interact with people, but most of what people are saying, 90% of it is just out of sanskar, and 10% is the relevant stuff about what you have to do, right? Just focus on that and then forget the rest 90%. I remember, when I was in office, there was this officer, and he would shout and scream and abuse everybody who went to his cabin. And 90% of it would be the abuse and the squashing the ego and stuff like that, and 10% would be his directions about what work he wants done. So when I went in, I would just focus on that. So what is he trying to tell me to do? The other stuff is just, his emotional baggage or his sanskar acting out. So I never focused on that. So this is how you go about hearing but not hearing. So, you have to hear, but along with that, you have to segregate what is important for action and what is not. So just let go. And seeing also similarly. And then food is very important, because what you eat will eat you. And food is not nutrient alone, it is vibration. And this is very important to understand, because people think that food is just carbs and proteins and fat and this and that, but food is not that. Food is that plus vibration. And it is very important that we watch out for the vibration. And in order to create the vibration that you want to consume, you have to pay attention to cooking food in Baba's remembrance and eating sattvic pure food without non-veg and onion garlic. And when you do that, that is Shrimat. So that is Shrimat for the body. Then another Shrimat for the body is celibacy. So don't engage your senses in sensual pleasure. So because if you are deriving pleasure from the senses, then you cannot. So do you understand that if you eat a lot of salt and sugar, your taste buds become very unreceptive to natural taste of things. So, if you have a lot of artificial tasting, if you eat a lot of high intensity salt, sugar, then, if somebody has, you cannot taste the taste of teas and stuff which is very subtle. So you cannot taste it because your taste buds are spoiled. Similarly, Baba says, if the soul is used to a lot of pleasure through the senses, then the soul cannot receive the super sensuous joy and super sensuous, experience of peace and power and love that Baba gives. Because the soul is so have you seen that if there is a lot of noise outside, you cannot hear the little sounds that are there in and around you. So maybe there is a very soft music playing which is very soothing and which is very close to you, but you cannot hear it or be pay attention to it because a lot of sound from outside is distracting you. So similarly, Baba says that you are a soul and I am always with you, but you cannot experience the subtlety and the beauty and the power and the virtues of my presence if your senses are so immersed in sensual pleasure and your mind is busy in that, because you will experience Baba's presence and light and might through the mind. But if your mind is consumed by the senses, you cannot feel Baba's presence. So it is very necessary to keep your senses free from sensual pleasure. Yes, so this is why this is the direction that Baba gives for the body. What is the direction for wealth that Baba gives? So Baba says that don't use any penny that you have for purposes which are not for self progress or world benefit. Yes, so anything that is not spiritually elevating you, or anything that is not, not benefiting the world or souls in the world spiritually, that expenditure shouldn't be done by you. Because if your money is being used to feed somebody's ego or attachment, or feed somebody's vices, somebody's greed, somebody's sensual pleasure, or your own, then that money is creating a negative karmic account. Yes, in the world also, you see, if you give your money to somebody who commits a crime with it, right, and then the police come looking for you, and then you say that I just gave the money, he committed the crime, I'm not responsible, will that work? No, they trace the finances, and anybody who is funding it is equal party to the crime. Similarly, Baba says that when your resources are used for the vicious satisfaction of others, then that karmic account is incurred by you. So don't create pap karma out of your money. Use your money for spiritual growth and for seva. There is such a big seva that Baba is doing through centers and through his children. So Baba says, use your money for that seva and for spiritual progress of your own self or others around you. Okay, Om Shanti. So these are some of the directions, and then you already listen to the Murli every day. So you can jot down other directions and see if you are paying attention to all of them, because the study and following the directions are equally important.